Lions and wild dogs, not once but twice. Add a few surprises along the way and you'll see why this turned into one of our most thrilling days yet. This one has plenty of spice. On the road back to the southern reaches of Bergendal, we bid farewell to the Mopani veld and roll across the savannah towards Gukuza. It's wonderful to be back in familiar territory, yet there's a touch of melancholy as the end of our 15-day Kruger adventure slowly comes into view. After 8 long days without a lion sighting, fortune smiles on us. This episode kicks off with the first of 4 lion sightings over the next 2 days, including a female with cubs, tucked close by, hidden but never far. Stay with us, because this is one of the most action-packed chapters of this trip. Sit back, relax, and let the wild unfold. If you're enjoying this journey, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more safari moments. We are here just past about 10-15 kilometers past the Olifant on our way to Satara, where there's what we can see is 3 female lion and 1 young male lion there in the road, and they have their eyes on blue wildebeest there in the distance. We can see them being very interested. I think they're waiting for the blue wildebeest to move closer. The wind is blowing this way, so there's no way that the blue wildebeest can smell them. They're definitely very interested in those blue wildebeest. Okay. We are very, very fortunate after a week of hardly any predators that we've seen, now on our way to Bergendal, we spotted 3 female and 1 young male lion. They were setting up on a group of wildebeest, on a group of wildebeest, and they had a half-hearted attempt at the chase, 2 of the females, but there wasn't a real cover between them and the wildebeest for them to have a real chance. Very fortunate and happy with this sighting. There were lots of vehicles. The male, when we arrived, there was lying in the road. We unfortunately couldn't get good footage of that due to the congestion of cars. But we are well on our way to Bergendal, and I'm sure that there will be lots more of these to come. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. We made good progress so far. We are close to Afzaal. We had nearly had a nice lion encounter close to Skukuza, just across the bridge. There were, I think, 4 female lions and chasing a buffalo in the riverbed. We had to reverse all the way back on the bridge to allow the cars to come through. That was very nice sighting. We did see the lions briefly as they chased the buffalo bull up the bank there, but it was too quick for us to get any footage of that. What's evident after 10 days coming back to this area is that the changing season has definitely started. We can see the yellowing of the leaves of the rooibos trees. It's definitely noticeable, the change of season starting to happen. And so we arrive at our final campsite for the trip, Bergendal. We're looking forward to the last 4-night stay here, and familiar territory for us, our hometown, Malelan. And let's see what the southern part has to offer for us. There we are, set up here at Bergendal. I'm going to show you now what the setup looks like. And I think we've left the best to last. What do you think?
Absolutely.
I think we set up very well here. We didn't find a spot against the fence. We were too late. But I think the spot that we have here is about 50 meters from the fence, and I think it's pretty good. Let me show you around. This is where we're gonna braai, and we decided to put up the sides again at the kitchen side and at the back entrance side. And because we are a little bit far from the bathroom, we put up the mobile shower unit where we put the porta potty, and that's going to be very easy access. There's the inside that you are familiar with. It's a little bit dark now, still overcast, and that's basically the setup. We run off power, so 220 volt. That's what it looks like. This morning it is our first morning here from Bergendal. We had a good night's rest. I must say, if you camped at Tsenze, any other camp has its difficulties. It's a very busy camp, especially over a long weekend. Here at Bergendal, it's a very, very nice camp, nice settings, nice facilities. So I'm not complaining at all. And we are in the park. We saw on the sightings board a couple of lion and leopard sightings in the area, the two yesterday and the day before. So hopefully we will also be able to find them. And yes, let's see what the day brings. Not long into our drive, the bush rewards us with something truly special. A pack of African wild dogs. These rare and elusive predators remind us once again of how unique the southern part of Kruger really is. But this is not the last time we will see them today. As our journey unfolds, their paths and ours will cross again right near the end of the day. So stay with us, because this story with the wild dogs is far from over. It didn't take long for us to spot our first lion of the day, and what a special encounter it would be. Shortly after leaving Afzaal, where we had enjoyed our morning coffee, we turned onto the H22 and came across a lioness drinking from a small waterhole right beside the road. What perfect timing. After a while, she began to make her way slowly up the road towards the nearby hill. Then, leaving the road entirely, she headed straight into the hillside. At that moment, I realized my suspicion was correct. She must have cubs hidden somewhere in that hill, safely tucked away from any danger. Moments like these are an incredible reminder of nature's balance. A mother caring for her young right here in the wild, perfectly in tune with her surroundings. And what better example as this lioness to bring us to our lesson from nature. Here we witness her tender side, a mother carefully keeping her cubs hidden in the safety of the hillside until they are strong enough to join the pride. What is remarkable is how naturally she knows this, written deep into her DNA. Instinct tells her to conceal her young from danger, yet that same instinct makes her willing to face danger head on, to protect them and to provide for the pride. It's a powerful contrast, gentleness and ferocity, protection and strength, all woven together in one remarkable animal. And isn't that true for us as well? In life, in family, in leadership. It is not enough to simply be strong, nor only to be gentle. True leadership is found in balance, the wisdom to nurture when care is needed, and the courage to stand firm when challenges arise. Nature reminds us that strength and tenderness are not opposites, but partners, working together to ensure survival, growth, and harmony. Well, in hunting terms, you get what you call buck fever. And I think in photography terms, it can be described as the same thing. It's frantic, it's panic stations, it's just as if you forget about the basics and you forget about what to do, and it's just panic stations. That is what we experienced now. Here on the H2/2, just through a little stream, we came across this female lion, again drinking water, the same as we had with those leopards the other day. And all hell broke loose. To get the cameras in position, and it's just, yeah, it's difficult to describe. So this was 20 minutes of chaos. It's a female, I suspect with cubs. You will see, or as you've seen on the video, she went up into the kopje there. I'm sure that she is either, I think she already gave birth, because her teats are swollen heavily, and I'm sure that she's still hiding them and suckling them. What an amazing experience. What an amazing experience. As humans, our survival depends greatly on interaction with others, building connections and forming relationships that benefit both sides. The same principle exists in the animal world, where even completely different species engage in fascinating partnerships. One of the most remarkable examples is the unusual relationship between oxpeckers, often described as bloodthirsty birds, and the large mammals they depend on. From giraffe and buffalo to rhino, hippo, and antelope. These birds spend their days perched on their hosts, feeding on the ticks and parasites hidden in their fur. For the oxpeckers, it's an easy meal. For their hosts, it's a form of natural grooming that keeps them cleaner and healthier. We are here at Pretoria's Kop picnic area, and we are having chops, lamb chops from last night, leftovers, and some egg and some braaibroodjies. Looks very good, smells very good, it's gonna taste very good. Our second lion sighting of the day came not far from Pretoria's Kop, not as exciting as the first one. These lions were lying right beside the road, but hidden well in the long grass, just out of clear view. With our main camera struggling to get a line of sight, we had to rely on the action camera mounted on the extended selfie stick to capture the moment. True to lion behavior, they spent their day as they often do, fast asleep, conserving energy for the night ahead. One more than often common sight that we had these 2 weeks of big herds of buffalo. This being one. A lot of buffalo here. It's just relaxing. This area here around Bergendal is truly beautiful, the hills and days like this when clouds in the sky, truly something special. On our way back to Bergendal for lunch, we were surprised to find a leopard resting close to the road, not draped over a tree branch as you might expect, but stretched out on the ground, fast asleep in the shade. Leopards are famously elusive and secretive, often preferring the safety of trees to rest, both to stay out of sight and to avoid being disturbed by other predators like lions and hyenas. Seeing one so relaxed on the open ground, especially this close to the road, is not something you encounter often. At this quiet moment, it would have been easy to drive right past without noticing it. But leopards have a way of drawing attention, and once word of a sighting like this spreads, The stillness of the bush is quickly replaced with the noise and bustle of vehicles gathering for a quick glimpse. As you'll see later, this very leopard becomes the center of attention, causing quite a traffic jam as more and more visitors arrive, eager to witness one of Kruger's most iconic and elusive cats. And here we meet up again. Or perhaps it's more accurate to say they meet up with us, a good 10 kilometers from where we first saw them this morning. This just shows you the vast area these highly efficient hunters are able to cover in a single day. African wild dogs are regarded as some of the most successful predators in the world, and for good reason. Unlike solitary hunters such as leopards or ambush specialists like lions, wild dogs rely on teamwork, endurance, and finely tuned coordination. Their hunts are not about stealth alone, but about strategy and stamina. Once they've chosen their target, the entire pack works together, often running at full speed for several kilometers. They can reach bursts of up to 60 kilometers an hour, and more importantly, they can sustain a high pace far longer than most prey animals can manage. Their communication and coordination are remarkable. Individuals take turns leading the chase, keeping pressure on their quarry until exhaustion sets in. The result is an incredible hunting success rate, far higher than that of lions or leopards. Every member of the pack plays a role, and when the kill is made, food is shared equally. It's this combination of teamwork, endurance, and selflessness that makes the wild dog one of Africa's most fascinating and effective predators. Well, what an eventful day. It started with wild dogs this morning, and it ended off with wild dogs this afternoon. I think it was the same group of wild dogs, the same pack, and sandwiched between the two wild dog sightings were two rhino sightings, two lion sightings, which one was amazing, as you would have seen, and then one leopard sighting that was average sleeping leopard. Unbelievable day, and not even mentioning the elephants that we saw. So, coming to the end of our first full day here at Bergendal, we can only look forward to tomorrow and what tomorrow will bring, and we are thankful and we are excited as always. As the day winds down, we find ourselves caught in the traffic jam caused by the same lone leopard we saw resting earlier this afternoon. What a fitting way to close this day's adventure, but our journey is not over yet. In our final episode of this 15-day Kruger series, we'll bring you a wildlife-filled conclusion, from an immature fish eagle perched close by to our last leopard encounter of the trip, and the joy of once again being among the magnificent white rhinos. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, God bless.